over what they paid out in benefits. That was great. Now they've lost 29% of their value. It's kind of like, this is a similar issue. I said on the MTA board last year, and about 6 months ago at the MTA meeting, I told them that I thought they're talking about spending a lot of money with alternate vehicles. And I said, well, I believe that the price of gasoline was going to go down to $2 a gallon. And you can call up Mr. Richards and ask him. Everybody in the room thought I was crazy as hell. So adversely, if somebody 2 or 3 years ago with the retirement system would said, you know what, we got to prepare because we're going to lose 29% of our value, then they would have thought. So, I don't see that changing, and I don't see the retirement board doing that bad a job. If you look at the broad picture of things, our retirement system is fared fairly well, and comparing it like the CalPERS or things like that. I don't think the house is on fire. I think when you hold your investments over the long term, which retirement dollars are invested in, I think we're going to come out fine. I feel our retirement system in this county is as good or better than any one that I know of. So I don't think the house is on fire. We just got to. But back to this issue of today, I don't think there could be any result coming out of the ad hoc committee, and that's why I don't support going down that road. Go ahead.
The decision of whether or not to have an ad hoc committee is, of course, a board decision, but since you're quoting from some of my words, I'll provide a little bit of explanation here. When it says review the performance of the pension obligation bonds and report back to the respective boards, that performance may not have been the best word to use. It's more the role of the pension obligation bonds. They perform a certain role in the way things are financed, and it's been clear from some of the discussion that there's not a lot of clarity about the role that those pension obligation bonds play and how they're contributing to the financial bottom line on that. So that's more what that was referring to rather than a performance of a bond, which you're correct, doesn't really fit in that. I also want to say that in particular, number 3, review the OPEB, which is other other post-employment benefits. Liability issues, that is a decision that is facing the board this year, and it's a decision that both boards need to have input into and we need to look at, and so that is something very concrete that would come out of this committee, because you're going to have staff looking at that, and certainly there are things that staff could do in the absence of the committee and then come back and report to the full board. The value in an ad hoc committee is to be able to, test out some of the theories and to be able to refine the packet of information, maybe expand it or really know what kind of information the board as a whole wants. So there is a sense that there are some things that we're going to need to work on specifically this year, and that there would be something accomplished and reported back to the board. But again, that is a board choice, and staff will support this either in doing this work and reporting back to the board or in staffing that committee and together reporting back.
But we do have standing committees that we could put those issues into too.
That's true. I think this is considered a specialized topic. So.
Well, I'd like to move this on.
Good idea.
The retirement system already has approved this concept. If you look at the action we just took, there was a consolidation. We did a lot of work last week, eliminated a lot of ad hocs. We eliminated one with respect to the retirement. This is a newly constituted one in the way that Allison has proposed it, with the time-specific deadline of when it ends, which is appropriate for an ad hoc. I think it's constructed appropriately. And as your representative to the retirement board, I hope that you could unanimously support moving this forward. The retirement board already has people designated to go to this to meet with the joint staff. So having us not participate would, to me, make absolutely no logical sense. We would not be at the table as we're in the format that the other entity is. So I don't think that would be appropriate either. We have another board member who's willing to serve. I think that we ought to just move it along and do it, and we'll see as time marches on, is it a valuable process or not? And Ms. Glassy's just referenced one thing that would be specific to this ad hoc that would be of value. We can report back We'll see where it goes. It's not to substitute for items coming to this full body. We already have that in place with the joint meeting, but I don't think you can accomplish everything with the full board level with the joint meeting with the retirement board. I think the ad hoc will really help keep both bodies fully informed, the decision makers informed, and I think it's important to the shared responsibility we have. So I would ask your support.
Supervisor Brown.
I'd just like to move the formation of the ad hoc committee with the appointments of Supervisor McCowan and Smith.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Supervisor Colfax, you had discussion.
Well, I think you put your finger on Supervisor Smith. This function could and should be handled within the committee system. This should be handled within the general government committee system. Those who are members of that particular body could well take this on. It should not be out there where we have essentially, that's why I'm making such a point of it. I've spent way too much time on this particular topic, seeing very little in the way of results. We have our government, general government committees, and this could be incorporated as one of the assignments or one of the topics that that committee would have brought before us. If we keep creating ad hoc committees for 1 year here and so on and so forth, we're just going to create more and more problems in terms of coordinating other meetings, other arrangements and so forth. So I feel this is a very bad move. It puts the supervisors in a position of having to be an overseer of an oversight body.
Is there a member of the public want to speak on this? Okay, comments to the motion?
Did I receive a second?
Yes.
Yes, by
Yeah, you did.
Supervisor Smith.
Yeah.
No, McCowan.
Or Supervisor McCowan. David, yeah, okay. With that, we can vote. Just
Yes.
use, yeah. Vocal, go ahead, vote.
Button?
No,
No.
just
Aye.
aye. Or
How's it going?
Supervisor,
How's it gone?
huh?
How's it going?
4-0 to you.
No, I'm voting no.
I'm voting no.
Yeah, so it's passed 3-2 with Supervisor Colfax and Finch's dissenting. Okay, thank you. Okay, I don't know if we want to dive into this one.
God bless.
What's the feeling of the board? You know, we have closed session.
Yep.
Would the board be up to the idea of putting off the item 8D, the Board of Supervisors expenditures and reimbursement policy?
When are you going to try and go to Santa Rosa, I think is the more important question, because you're representing
Well,
us
I've got to
tonight.
leave no later than, yeah.
And we have,
All the highway patrolman guys are here in the room, so they're home
and
now.
we have a full room of
We
department heads.
got some closed session items we need to just,
Right.
does the board support this continuing that item?
I think we continued it from yesterday. I think we ought to move it on.
Okay. Agenda item 8D, discussion of possible action regarding the possible modification and/or approval of the Board of Supervisors expenditure and reimbursement policy. CEO, you're the sponsor on this.
Okay, Allison Glassy, Assistant CEO. I actually don't think I have much of anything on next week's agenda, and I'll need the rest of it. Anyway, what you have in front of you, the policy itself calls for a review every January, and so that review has taken place, and as noted in the staff report, the review included the executive office, auditor, council, and individual board members. What we were working for here was clarity and if there were any content changes. There has been some discussion of even further streamlining and refinement of the policy itself, and I felt that was better left to a future activity, that we needed to focus on the items that had come up. So, referring to the staff report, because I think that's the easiest one to look through, the changes proposed